Hello everyone and welcome to this week's episode, and I might sound again a little bit nasally. I've caught another cold from Joe, and it's funny because I was saying to him the other day, I was like, we never get colds, and it seems like this year we've had like 3 or 4 already, which is a nightmare. So apologies if I do sound a little bit nasally during this episode, but I wanted to share a story with you. I'm actually going to do a story today, and in our next episode it'll be a little story as well. I want to share 2 life experiences that I've kind of had that has almost been a breaking point of me not becoming the person that I am today, and I could have gone down 2 totally different paths if I chose either option, and both options have really kind of changed my life in a personal way, a physical way and professional way as well. So this week we're going to be a wee bit more personal and physical. I just really want to share this story because I know so many women will be like, oh, I'm never going to be someone that can lose weight and keep it off, or I'm never going to be able to be the person that can have that job, I'm never going to be good enough for that role, I'm always going to be the fat friend, I am the joker friend, I'm the silly one, I'm not smart enough. We tell ourselves all these stories all the time, and a part of us having this definition of who we are, we live by it, and sometimes we actually are proud of it. Even it can be just little silly things that when you tell people that you're not good at something, they're like, no way, I never knew that about you before. So it becomes a part of your identity, but it almost becomes such a high part of your identity that you never then try new things or different experiences because you believe you're this person, you believe you're the bigger person, you believe the person that can't lose weight, you believe you're the all or nothing gal. And that's not true, because you can be whatever you want to be, and that's why I want to share these 2 experiences. And I believe next week's one you'll be like, no way, I can't believe how different Leanne's life would be if she didn't take that risk. Okay, so today, like I said, it is a more personal one, and something that I identified as for so long, and then it eventually got to the place that it started to become more painful, that I knew myself I had to change this belief. And I want to talk you through how we kind of maybe start and how it can kind of grow from there. So this one I want to share with you is that I always believed I couldn't swim, and by protecting myself I'd always go, oh well, maybe my bum or my legs are too big that I just sink. Maybe it's just my build, it's my shape, I'm just not good enough to swim. And I would always be like, oh, it's my parents' fault, it's my upbringing's fault, oh, it doesn't matter, I don't live by the sea anyway, so I don't need to learn how to swim. I had a whole kind of attitude about it, like it's not my fault and it doesn't matter because I'm never in the water anyway. I hate water. A lot of our lead term members will laugh at this as well. I hate washing my hair, I'm like a cat, like hate getting water in my eyes, hate getting water up my nose. And just over the years it started to get to the phase where me and Joe would go on holiday and we'd be on boat trips and everybody would be in the water having fun, and I'd be at the side panicking. And every time I was going on a boat, I was like, I had to know where the safety jackets were. I couldn't relax on this boat until I know where the safety jackets were, because I thought if anything happens and I'm in that water, I'm going to die, I cannot swim. And even if we kind of roll back all the way back to high school, like maybe like younger high school, 1st and 2nd year, when we're kind of 13, 14, 15, we weren't old enough to go out in the clubs, so we go to like what was called an aqua disco. Every Friday night all my friends would get together, we'd all go to the aqua disco, and it would be waves and there would be inflatables, and I would dread it, I hated it, just didn't enjoy it at all, because I know I couldn't go in inflatables. As soon as I can't touch the bottom of the water, I was freaking out, and I was like, I can't swim, so I can't go on the inflatables, because if I fall off then no one's going to be there to help me. So I'd always be sat at the side waiting on my friends to go on the floats, and then we'd go into the waves, but then I wouldn't be able to go into the waves and go into the fun parts with them, because if I couldn't touch the bottom then I was going to die. So it was never a fun experience for me as a kid growing up. Finally the aqua disco days were gone, that it wasn't until we did meet Joe and I started to go on these lovely boat trips and experiences like that I actually started to realise I was still missing out in life. So I was kind of approaching my 30s, and yeah, we just had a few other experiences where we were on a rocky boat, and I was terrified and I was crying, and I just was getting more and more scared to be in the water and to be on holiday and to feel like I'm missing out. And you would always go on the boat parties or whatever, and everybody would be in the water and they'd be cooling off, and I'd be there with the big straw things and really nervous to get in the water even if I had the straw thing on, and Joe would be like, come on, I've got you, because Joe was a lifeguard at university, and he's always like, I've got you, you're going to be fine, but I could just never relax, and I was just always on edge, and it really took away the fun part of the boat parties. So I was coming up to my 30th and I thought, okay, we're going to Mexico for my 30th birthday. I just want to be on holiday, I want to be on a beach, I want to have a nice little chilled cocktail and be like, I've made it to 30, this is what I've done and achieved in my life, we're here, like we're on this experience, this was my goal. And I thought, you know what, for this 30th it would be really cool to be able to go away on holiday. And the big thing for me is, and for all Elite Her members, is we want to live life to the fullest. I want all our members to go on holiday and be able to go on trips and tours and hikes and go up and see mosques and go up and see big history things, and be able to do the climbs and be able to cross bridges and to be able to go into the water and feel strong, fit and healthy enough to do all these things going into our 30s and beyond. And then there's me here scared to go dip a toe in the water. So I was like, okay, I need to really address this. And another thing that kept coming into my head as well was that getting older as well, I was kind of thinking, well, we might have a family. Is that going to be something that we do? If we did have a family, like what happens if like they got stuck in the deep part of the water and I can't help them because I can't touch the bottom, and that would be a horrible place to be. So I thought something has to change here. I have to learn in some way just to protect myself, family, and to enjoy myself and enjoy my life a little bit more. So I had to start addressing these, you maybe don't know how to swim yet. And I think that's when we start changing it from, I'm not the all or nothing person, I can be this fitter and healthier person, I can be that person. Maybe not saying that I am that person yet because I didn't have a clue where to start, but changing that mindset of I'm this person. It's like, no, you're not. You can be something else, and sometimes just changing that phrase starts to help you believe that you can take these steps to kind of disassociate from this little belief we've got, because I was just doing that to protect myself, I was just doing that to make my life easier, I was just doing that because genuinely I believed it, just because I convinced myself for so long over the years that I never had to learn until addressing it in my 30s. So the first part of making this change was finding someone to help me make this change. And I was speaking to a client last week actually, and we were kind of chatting about how she wished that she could have found a new gym sooner. So when we first started together, she was at a gym, we still made awesome progress. And lately she's just changed gym and her whole training experience has changed so much. She enjoys it so much more that now she's excited for more change that's going to come. And she said to me, I wish I could have found this gym sooner and I would have had more results sooner. And I was like, we can't think like that, because if we didn't start and get you seeing results and getting you feeling good and getting you go to the gym and actually realise that's not a gym that you like, you would never have found a gym that you like now, and you would never feel as good and healthy as you are right now. And I think sometimes when we think we're going to go on this journey of becoming a non-swimmer to being a swimmer, it's going to happen really easily, and we're just going to find that perfect coach and we're just going to spend a couple of weeks and then we're going to be that changed person, and it's not. And it's knowing that there is going to be little failures along the way. There is going to be times when you're actually maybe not enjoying it and you do need to push through to kind of break past this little barrier and this little belief that you have. So my first kind of big challenge was actually finding adult swimming lessons. Like, they're really hard to find, and I didn't know that. And I was looking, there was loads of child stuff, there was nothing adult related. So that was almost already convincing me not to keep going and not to go down this route, because I was like, oh well, it seems like everybody can swim, it must just be me, this isn't something that people need help with, so maybe I am a failure and I'm just never going to know how to swim. But I kept at it and I kept asking around and I kept looking in places nearby me. I spent a wee bit more time doing it, and what I did eventually find was group classes, and they were only at certain times of the year for certain little blocks. So again, I was like, oh, I can't even start this goal right now, and my 30th birthday is coming up, I just want to learn how to swim. And you just need to know that it's not going to be perfect, but you need to start somewhere. So I booked up for these group classes, but being a coach myself, I know in a group circumstance, I'm not going to learn much. It's not going to be specific for me. It's not going to help me, and it's not going to help me go further, faster. Group stuff is, yeah, it's a great place to get started. Like, you know, you go to group fitness classes or group meetings or group mentoring sessions, but see when you've got someone one-to-one that knows you, the level of difference you can make is insane. So a part of me was like, I just want someone one-to-one. But I thought I'll start with this group session, adult session, to start with and see how it goes. So eventually the date came up and I was like, right, we're going to get started. It was winter, it was cold, the last thing I wanted to do was to go in a swimsuit. And I'll even be honest with you as well, I didn't own an actual swimsuit to wear to the swimming baths. All I had was bikinis. That shows you how much I was not interested in swimming. So I went to Sports Direct or whatever it was and got myself my swimsuit. I was freezing cold and I was going into the bath. I was like, I really don't want to do this. And there were so many opportunities, like I said. I couldn't find the class, I could have just quit. It was cold, it was winter, I could have just left it and thought, no, I want to just go when it's nice weather. There's all these little excuses that we can make along the way to just stop ourselves from getting out this comfort zone and learning this new skill and becoming this new person that we want to become. So I remember automatically going into the swimming pool and you could just feel that hot humid air, and it was bringing me back to those aqua disco days. I was like, oh god, I don't like this, I don't like this. I felt really like, I felt old, I felt, what am I doing, this is so silly. And then we went in, I got changed, and you know that way you're sweating and you're trying to get your gym stuff off, and automatically thinking of the aqua school days as well, when it was like west side of Glasgow pools. I was worried people were going to be looking under my changing room. I felt really on edge. You could smell that weird pee smell that you can smell at the pools. I don't know if anyone else smells that. I swear by that you can always smell pee when I go to the pool. Anyway, I've got my swimsuit on, got my goggles, I'm walking out to the pool, and obviously I'm a coach, so I'm used to being in the gym and I can go in any gym and just be like, right, this is what I'm going to do, don't worry about it. But walking into this pool, I was like, I don't know what to do here, I don't know where to go. I felt really out of my comfort zone. I felt like naked in this swimsuit and all these people around. It's like, this is not a comfortable place for me. I walked over and I seen some other people standing in the corner, like obviously other adults, and I went over and was like, oh, are you guys here for this the session? And they were like, yep. And straight away I was like, oh, it's not just me that needs to learn how to swim. And these people were actually older than me. And it really, really made me realise that I wasn't alone anymore, and that these other people were doing it too. And I started learning their life experiences and why they're learning to swim now, and how some of them actually had more fear than me and they were more scared than me. And that actually kind of helped me realise, okay, maybe I'm not in a bad place as I thought I was. And I kind of thought, you know what, I'm really fit, I'm really healthy, I train at the gym, like I should have at least the fitness side here. But no, swimming and gymming are two completely different skills, different things. I was completely puffed just from doing some of the kicking drills, and I was next to a man named Peter. I'll never forget Peter. See, he was in his 80s and he was learning how to swim. How amazing is that? And you're maybe in the car just now, or you're maybe out on a walk and you're thinking you're too old to learn something. And I know we've had my mum on the podcast before, who graduated her nursing degree at 50, and then we've got Peter here who's in his 80s learning how to swim. And I just felt so silly. I was straight away like, all those beliefs I had, that I was old, that I didn't have the body shape, I didn't have the fitness levels, or that it was my upbringing that caused me not to swim. All these past beliefs that I had were just suddenly gone. I was like, I have no excuses here. Like, I'm not even 30 yet at that time. That if he's here doing it, I can bloody do it. And that's why I want to share this story with you guys as well, because if Peter's doing it, you guys can all do it too, and I've done it, so you guys can do it. And it's just learning that we all have these fears or these challenges or these things that scare us that we can honestly overcome. You can. So went to the adult session and it was good, and I picked some wee things up, but because there was some people a lot more scared than me, there were some people a little bit less abilities than me, I just kind of felt like, for me to get to where I want to be, more confident in the pool, I'm a little bit advanced for this group. Like I said, I knew I needed more specific help, so I spoke to the girl after the second session and I was like, look, I really want to do one-to-one sessions. Can you do them, or is it anyone that you know? And that again took a couple of weeks. And that little part of you is going to these classes, and again it's cold, it's winter outside, you've got wet hair. I was like, is this going to actually go anywhere? But I stuck with it, and eventually she gave me this guy's number called Ali. And Ali will laugh at me because he was just a student, he was just earning some extra cash on the side, doing some swimming lessons with people. But Ali has honestly changed my life for the rest of my life. This young guy, just making some extra cash, changed my life. And he'll laugh because he's like, I've never did anything, but honestly, like, I didn't know how to swim. I was scared to go in the pools. I just had a belief that I wasn't a swimmer, and Ali helped me believe that I could swim. And it is honestly priceless, just being able to take yourself from this low, horrible, hard position to something that is full of confidence. And that's what a coach and that's what a mentor does, is they take you from one place to another place. So I started with Ali, and I just straight away learned so much. And what I loved about Ali as well is, like, it was nice to have the company and to have a bit of chat and to have someone that understood me. It was something that I looked forward to. I felt I was getting fitter in the water, I was getting faster in the water, I was getting more confident in the water, I was getting used to water. Like, it was really good that he would make me do like roly-polies, he would make me dive in the water, in the deep end, he'd make me go to bits where I couldn't touch the bottom, but he didn't go from like nothing to 100 overnight. It was these sessions, each session he just planned them so well that he just seen my confidence grow. And then he was asking me if I was ready to do stuff, and I was like, okay, yeah, I'm ready. And he could see my confidence go high, that he's like, right, we're going to dive into the pool today. And I was like, oh my god, literally shaking, literally so nervous, you know, that way you go to jump and you're like, no, I can't do it. That was it, until he eventually got me in the water. And yeah, it just, honestly, it taught me so much, and that took a long few months for me to eventually get with Ali. But then with Ali to have weeks upon weeks upon weeks of lessons, and we were working all the way up to my holiday for my 30th birthday. That was our goal, was to be able to go away on that holiday and to be able to go in the water confidently and be able to snorkel and see the turtles and do all this stuff. So that was our kind of end goal. But something I realised along the way as well was that I was actually enjoying the time in the pool. I'd never enjoyed the water, but even though it was still a bit of winter outside, I looked forward to that Wednesday morning, getting in the pool. I planned it around my hair days, and I was no longer this cat that like hated water and hated it up her nose and in her eyes. It didn't bother me anymore. And I also just really enjoyed that hour of being off my phone. I couldn't be on my phone a full hour. I was just in the water, there was no music, there was no distractions. I'd speak to Ali a little bit, but I just started to really enjoy the time for me to learn, and the time for me to just have a bit of headspace. And I'd come out the water and I'd be absolutely exhausted. Because when you learn a new skill at work, if you start a new job, or you learn something at the gym, or you learn something as a parent, you are so tired. All you want to do is sleep, and your body is trying to keep up as well. So there was that term time of like my brain learning when I was sleeping, and then developing the swimming from there. But anyway, we got to February, and sadly we could not book Mexico for my birthday. We ended up going a couple of weeks after my birthday. Again, another thing that us ladies do is we're like, we want to have everything on this date, and we want everything to go perfectly to plan. I didn't get to lie in a sun lounger on my 30th birthday, but I did 2 weeks later, and it was just as bloody good. It's fine, and it was actually better for us to kind of go at that time, that I actually got to do some stuff with family for my 30th birthday anyway. Went away and brought a snorkel with me, and I was just like a water baby. For the first time in my life, I was like a water baby. I was in the pool, and I wasn't like grabbing onto Joe like, oh my god, I can't touch the bottom. I didn't even think like that anymore. I went on a pool, well, not a pool party, but we went on like a kind of party boat to go out and see the turtles in the wild, and the stingrays and stuff, and the fish, and snorkeling. And I was the first in the water, and Joe was like, oh my god, who is this girl? I was straight in, I was like, yes, I am ready for this. And I went in, and I was like snorkeling, and honestly, best moment of my life. A turtle was here, and he was coming up for air. Sorry if you can't see me on, if you're listening. I was lying in the water, seeing the turtle underneath me, and he came up for air. So he was coming up just past my snorkel. I had to lean back because I was almost about to headbutt a turtle. How cool is that? Leanne, like, when she was 28, 29, would never imagine herself in the Caribbean about to headbutt a turtle with no fear of being in the water and getting salt in her eyes and salt up her nose. and just being wet, she was in her element. And that was a space of maybe a year and a half. And I'll just say right now, like right now, I wouldn't say I can front crawl and do loads of swimming. But lately, when was I on a boat? I was on a boat lately. Where were we? Where have we been recently for a boat trip? Oh, where have I been this year? Can't even remember. Oh, maybe it was last year. Maybe last year. So last year anyway, when we were last on a kind of boat trip, I was just kind of thinking to myself, if this went over, I'd be fine. I'd just bob. I'd be alright. Like, I'm not going to die if this soap boat sinks. I'll be fine. I know how to just swim and stay relaxed in the water, and the more relaxed you are in the water, the less stress you get, the less you panic, and the less you end up starting drowning yourself. Like, it is honestly amazing that I have gone from that mindset of I can't swim, it's my parents' fault, it's my upbringing's fault, it doesn't matter, I don't need to go in the water anyway, and it's just my body build, it's just not designed for swimming, to being someone that wants to be first in the water, to being someone that stands at the end of the boat and can dive in. I still poo my pants every time I need to dive in. It's like an adrenaline thing. I still have all the fear built up inside me, but once I do it once, it's like karaoke. I will be off and off that boat, and as many times like you do with karaoke, once you sing once you're up all night. But it is that first dive that is me, and I love filming them now, and I just love seeing that version of me now that knows that I can swim, and knows that if we do have children, I will be able to be in the water with them, and not be that mum that has to sit at the side because she can't swim. That's who I did not want to be, and that's been for me changing my belief. So I'll share another one with you next time, and I think that one will really surprise you as well. But I just wanted to show you that you are physically able to do anything you want to do and achieve. If you believe you're someone that's rubbish at losing weight, you're just going to keep causing that to happen every time you try to lose weight. You need to believe that you can do it. If you believe you're someone that personally you can't learn how to play the guitar, or you're not smart enough to go back to university, trust me, you 100% can. Personally and professionally and physically, you can honestly achieve and do anything that you put your mind to. Okay, so I hope that story has been fun for you to hear today, and to see that I've gone from not being able to do something at all, and to be really, really scared of it, and to be getting more scared of it with age, to be someone that has no fear around it now. I'm by no means perfect at it, but I can do it. And lastly, I just want you to remember, even though you won't be where you want to be overnight, you need to start somewhere, and you will learn more, and you'll meet new people, and you'll go through different steps, and you'll meet new mentors and new coaches that just keep helping you getting closer to that step of that thing that you want to do and achieve. Okay, so sit down if there's something in your head, or even just listen out now if you hear other people saying, oh, I'm rubbish at doing that, or I could never do that. Tell them that they bloody can. And I want you to listen out for yourself doing it as well, because even when I say, oh, I can't do that, I'm like, I know that's not true. I know, I just don't want to do it. And I think when you change the wording to I don't want to, or it's not a priority, or I don't care to, then you really know if it's something that you actually aren't bothered about, or whether it is something that you secretly do want to learn and overcome. Okay, so thank you for listening this week. I'll be back with you very soon to share another story, and I hope you have a fantastic week.